Oh yeah, no playground.
받아가세요. 와서 꼭 받으세요. 그리고 만약에 그 1365 자원봉사 포털에 가입되어 있지 않은 학생들은 그 귀가면 그 CICC 톡이요. 매월 넷째 주 토요일 오전 10시 30분부터 참가하고 싶은 학생들은 그 CICC 거기에 보면 그 외국에서 작가들이 굉장히 많은 선생님입니다. Here's Mr. Ammar Aquil.
Morning. First, before I start speaking, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an elementary school teacher. All of you are very big. You look very scary, so I'm sorry. So as you can tell from this picture, I'm from Canada. I'm here to lecture you on Canada. And let's get started. Boom. That's Canada. Canada is very, very big, as you can tell. Korea is a very small country. I'll show you how small. Canada is the second largest country in the world. It has the biggest coastline, so biggest water in the entire world, bigger than Russia. And Korea, not so big as you're gonna see, I'm sorry. So South Korea, but here's the thing, even though South Korea is smaller, it has a higher population. South Korea, you have 50,022,000 people. Canada has 35,016,000. Annette, what are you doing right now? Could you please get on this computer? I would appreciate that. Thank you. There's no clicker, I'm sorry. So Canada has 35 million. Next, as you can see, this is going to go by. That's how many Koreas fit into Canada. How many is that? I can't count. Oh, one back, sorry, not yet. So like I said, South Korea has a bigger population. You have 20 million more people than Canada. But Canada, as you can see, can hold a lot of South Korea. Most people in Canada live in the South. Why? Why do you think they live in the South? You can use your hand if you have an idea. Why do you think people live in the bottom? So most of this, 35 million, is all in the South. Why? Exactly, it's warmer. So here's a picture. Canada has 4 seasons. Many people think Korea has 4 seasons only. Not special. Canada has 4 seasons. This is a picture of Canada in summer. As you can see, it's really warm. It gets frozen like that in winter. You can, from space, all you see is white. What do you think the biggest country in the world is? Because Canada is second, what do you think the biggest country in the world is? Russia, of course. Very easy, very smart. Elementary students don't know that, so congratulations. Russia is actually our historical rival. For example, Korea, you don't like Japan. America doesn't like Russia. Canada also doesn't like Russia. We're arguing about the Arctic Circle. You can't see it, but up there, the North Pole, Canada wants it and Russia wants it. There's lots of oil there, so we're arguing about it. But we're not fighting, just argue. Thanks. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about Canadian history. Canada became a country on July 1st, 1867. So next time, July 1st, Canada Day. But one thing that's important, when I talk about Canadian history, or even Canadian culture, when I tell you about Canada, it's very similar to America. Some people say, I agree, Canada and America are the same. If you say China and Korea are the same, Japan and Korea are the same, you're wrong. China has its own language. China has its own history. Japan has its own language. Japan has its own history. Canada and America are the same country in 1776. America doesn't like doctors. America likes guns, so they have a revolution. That's not serious, but that's a little joke. Maybe you don't understand. But there's a revolution, and then Canada and America are two countries. Before that, they're the same. So their history, their culture, their language, it's all the same. That's why. That's one of the reasons. Next slide. So before 1867, which country owned Canada? England, easy, good. So remember, America was a British colony, Canada was a British colony. They were both the same. So colony, if you don't understand, 식민지. Okay, next please. So that's our flag, the Canadian flag. One more. You probably don't know this, one more. The Canadian flag is called the maple leaf. Maple leaf. Next please. It's a very, very new flag. Canada actually became a country after World War II. So 1445, Canada becomes a country. Before that, we were still a colony. After 1445, we become a country. Then in 1965, we finally make a flag. Why do you think we chose red? Why did we choose red? Anyone? Why do you think Canada's flag is red? Think. Sangak. No ideas? Okay, I'll tell you. Because the British flag, the English flag is red, and we have white because Canada is half British colony, it's half French colony. So the white color is for France, the red color is for England. So this picture, you can see lots and lots of Korean. Where do you think that is? Sorry? Koreatown, perfect, yes, it is Koreatown in Canada. Canada is a very multicultural country. Next slide, please. One more. So there's over 100,000 Koreans living in Canada. One more, please. And we have many faces. We have lots of different cultures in Canada. Maybe you already know this. So for example, we have Koreatown, we have Chinatown, we have Little India, we have Little Jamaica. That's only Toronto. Other cities have even, they also have their own Chinatown. They have their own Koreatown in Vancouver. So it's hard to choose what a Canadian's face looks like. As you can see, we have someone from Afghanistan over there. We have black people. We have different types of ethnicities. In Korea, you all have black hair and brown eyes. I'm sorry. It's just very simple, right? But many ethnicities. And Canada's really big. We have 10 provinces. Maybe one of our provinces is the size of 4 Koreas. So we have 10 provinces and we have 3 territories. Territories are very, very small. I'm going to show you some pictures and I'll explain. So this is British Columbia. Vancouver is in British Columbia. British Columbia is maybe our warmest province. It's on the west coast. Lots of mountains. If you like snowboarding, if you like hiking, you want to go here. This is Alberta. This is one of our coldest provinces. Lots and lots of oil. So if you want to make money from oil, you want to go here. Saskatchewan. We call this the Prairie Province. We have 3 Prairie Provinces. This is where we get most of our food from. Manitoba, you can see the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis. I'll talk about that later. Manitoba is really cool because Manitoba is the polar bear capital of the world. He looks very cute. I want to hug him, but he will kill me. He's very deadly. But it's the polar bear capital because it has the most polar bears in the world in one area. So the tourism thing is they look at polar bears there. This is my province. I'm from Ontario. Do you know what this is? What is this? What waterfall? What waterfall? Famous. Niagara, right. Canada is famous for Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is between America and Canada. This side is Canada, this side is America. Canada's side is more beautiful. No, really, we've spent money on it. American side, if you ever go there, you'll see it's very undeveloped. They're just starting to develop it right now. But in the 1980s, we already had casinos there, we had gardens, we put lots of money into our side. And Ontario is the nuclear capital of the world because this is the largest nuclear power plant in the world. It has 8 nuclear cores. After September 11th, when terrorism when terrorism started mattering to us, they changed the security here. You can't fly over it. No airplanes. Inside there is a police army. If anyone tries to get in there, the security is very, very crazy. American crazy, maybe. Please, next. This is Quebec. I told you before, Canada is half French, half British. Quebec was the old French capital. It is probably the most beautiful city in Canada. It is the most historic city in Canada, the oldest colony almost. It was, at one point, it was part of Ontario, but eventually they separated it into a new province. In Quebec, you have to speak French. If you only speak English in Quebec, it's going to be difficult to travel. And Newfoundland, this is actually an island. It's bigger than Jeju, but it's still an island. It's still not that big. Beautiful, and they have a very different accent here. I can't understand their accent. Their accent is very fast, and their words mix. It's difficult for me to understand them. PEI, Prince Edward Island. Does anyone know why this is famous? Why is PEI famous? Do you read books? No one? No one reads any books? Oh my God. In you, I see my students. All those students I teach, they grow up, they don't read. I'm sad. Anne of Green Gables. It's a very famous book. It's also a TV series, I think. TV movie, maybe. Anne of Green Gables is set in PEI. If you have time, read it. And New Brunswick. I don't have anything special to say about New Brunswick. It's beautiful. Nova Scotia in Latin means New Scotland. You can see our British roots. Nothing else to say. Northwest Territories. Now you're getting into the top area. Sometimes for one full day, there is no night. One full day, there is no day. Sometimes it changes. This is very high and it's very cold. Less than 10,000 people live up here. It's very, very small. And none of it just like Northwest Territories. Very cold, and this is the most north point in Canada. This settlement is probably the most northern point in Canada. We don't go higher than this. Too cold. Yukon. Yukon was famous in the 1850s. People found gold here. Americans found gold here. So they came up there, they took our gold. We took some of it, but lots of Americans took our gold. That happened in the Yukon. And this is the capital of Canada. This is Ottawa. This was not the first capital. Toronto was the first capital. But after 1865, they changed it, and they made this city just to be the government building. Like Sejong City. Sejong City maybe someday will be your new capital. Next. Why do you have this? Next, sorry, this is repeating. You already know this. Canada is 9.9 million kilometers. Very, very, very long. I think I'm going to ask you a question. Remember that. Next. Next slide, sorry. Perfect. This is Parliament Hill. This is our main government building. When the Prime Minister, we don't have a president, we have a Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister wants anything done, this is his government office, this is where Parliament meets. Beautiful things in Korea, these are the Rocky Mountains. Maybe you've heard of these. They're the longest chain. It runs all the way from the top of Canada down into America, almost to New Mexico. Stops at New Mexico. New Mexico is not Mexico. It's part of America. It stops in America. New Mexico is a state. And I'm sure you've heard of this, Aurora Borealis. I have not seen this. I want to go see this when I go back to Canada. Does anyone know why this happens? Why does this happen? Maybe it's too difficult. Anyone? From space. Lots of rays come at you. It's magnets. Magnets make this light happen. And Niagara Falls, we talked about it. This boat is really cool. If you get inside this boat, it almost goes under the water. You're going to be covered in water by the time you're done. So Canada has two national languages, as I already told you. We have English and French. I'm not an English teacher today, I'm going to be a French teacher. Say, bonjour. 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 Merci. That means thank you. Bonjour is hello, merci is thank you. My French is very, very bad. What I taught you, forget. It's very, very bad. People will laugh at you. Next, please. So I'm going to show you lots and lots of animals. What is this? Oh my God, no one. It's a raccoon. Raccoon, it's very cute, but it's going to eat your trash. It eats lots and lots of trash. Not delicious looking. Next. He's very cute. I want to hug him, but he will kill me. He is a brown bear. He is very cute, very deadly. We have them in most of our parks. If you go to any of our national parks, you go to the Rocky Mountains, you have a good chance of seeing him if you get out of the road. Also, my other favorite, I want to hug him, but he will kill me, the polar bear. He looks a little delicious. Maybe if I was freezing. Next, please. Canadian goose, very, very delicious. I have ate him. He is delicious. This is our national bird, actually. We probably shouldn't eat him, but there's lots, so it's okay. Next, please. Normal duck, this is called a loon. I'm going to tell you about the loon later. We have him on our coins. Again, another national bird. My favorite, a beaver. Do you know what his tail is for? What is his tail for? Do you know? Anyone? She did it. She can't speak, but she's like, talk, talk, talk. Yes, it is for that. Not swimming. It helps swimming, but he destroys trees. He's going to destroy a tree and make his home on the water with the tree. Not delicious looking. Next, please. A blue whale. Oh, humpback whale, sorry. This is, I think, either this or the blue whale is the biggest animal, bigger than some dinosaurs. We have some of them in the Arctic. In the summer, they go into the Arctic, and then they come back down in winter. They go into America's water. Maybe delicious. Next, please. I want to eat a deer. I have heard he is very, very, very delicious, but I have not ate him yet. We have lots of deers in the parks. This is an orca killer whale. Have you ever seen Free Willy? You're too young. There's a famous movie about orcas. They're really cute, but you really should not get close to them. They're dangerous. Moose, yes. We also eat moose, but I have not eaten moose. I want to eat a moose next. I love squirrels. They're very cute and they are everywhere. Everywhere. If you go on a picnic and you go somewhere else, maybe they will steal your things. Cute. Now I'm going to tell you about some Canadian sports. What sport is this? Hockey, right? I heard it over there. This is hockey. This is probably our national sport. We love hockey. I told you we don't like Russia that much. Russia is our #1 rival in hockey, and then the United States is probably our #2 rival. Those are the most important games of the year. I don't like hockey, so I don't watch, but everyone else does. If you go to a bar, if you go to your friend's house, it's going to be on TV. So hockey. And what sport is this? Lacrosse, yes. Lacrosse is actually a First Nation sport. If you don't know what First Nations are, that's what Americans call Indians. Native Americans, they made lacrosse. Lacrosse, we turned into hockey. So before hockey, there was lacrosse, and we made it into hockey. Looks really cool, but it looks really, really hard. I've never played lacrosse. I don't know how to catch it in that net. Difficult. And another sport Canada dominates in the Olympics. We're really good at this. It's curling. Have you seen curling? Do you like curling? No, good, yes. Every Canadian high school student hates curling. It is very boring. When I was in high school, we all used to talk about how much we hated it. Next. So you just push it and you get it to the middle. This is Canada's national anthem. I'm a very good singer, so I'm going to sing it for you. No. No. I'm not a good singer. I am not going to sing it. No. We're going to just read it together very fast. Okay, I'll try to sing it. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts, we see thee rise. You should put your hand on your heart. If the Korean anthem plays, I would put my hand on my heart. So, thank you. You should also stand up. No, it's okay. Yeah. The true north, strong and free, from far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. One more time. I'm sorry I cannot sing. Next, please. So food. We have lots and lots of delicious food in Canada. Like I told you, we're very multicultural. In Cheongju, if I want Indian food, I have to go to Sinai or Chungdae. If I want Mexican food, there is no Mexican food. If I want Thai food, I'm sorry, there is no good Thai food. But in Canada, we have lots of restaurants and they are everywhere. You want Chinese food, you want Indian food, you want Korean food, Japanese food, Mexican food. That's all 5 minutes from my house. I don't live in the big city. I live outside the big city. I live in the suburbs. I'm going to tell you about some Canadian foods. These are from Canada. You've probably all tried this, I hope, maybe English camp. Maple syrup. It is very, very sweet. It is very, very expensive. Even in Canada, we've had a very, very bad few years. The maple harvest in Canada has been very bad for the last 5 years. Global warming, the weather's changing, less and less maple syrup, even for us. What are these? French fries, they are delicious. Do you know what this is? It's cheese. It's hard to tell, so I'll help you a little bit. That's cheese. What is that? I heard it, sorry? Kuga? I can't hear you. Gravy, it is sauce. French fries plus cheese plus gravy gives you poutine. That's a French creation. It's from Quebec. We love it everywhere in Canada. If you had to eat one thing that's Canadian, I suggest you eat poutine. Not me, I don't like cheese. I'm sorry. But you'll like it if you like cheese. And non-emo bars. Perfect. Okay, non-emo bars. These are a Native American First Nation creation. You make this cake without baking. First, you get a wafer. Do you know what a wafer is? Like a biscuit. You have a fine biscuit on the bottom. You have custard in the middle. And you just put chocolate in the top. Very delicious. Like our choco pie. That's like our choco pie. Canadian bacon. It's more like ham. I don't know why we call it Canadian bacon. It's more similar to ham, from my understanding. Is that correct, right? Who is it? It's like ham. Who's next? And these guys, they are called the Mounties. They are our federal police. These are the police officers that do very serious crimes. They don't dress like this. This is usually for decoration. This is usually to show off. Normally, they'll wear a suit or something more relaxed. But if you want to look at someone dressed like a Canadian, this is probably the most Canadian you can get. They do ride horses. They do ride horses still, even in Toronto. So now we're going to play a small game. I want your input, okay? I'm going to show you two pictures. I want you to tell me which number is Canadian. You can just hold your finger, okay? 1 or 2. You don't have to yell. So which one is Canadian? Which one is Canadian? Show me your fingers. I want to see. Very smart. Excellent. Number 1 is Canadian. What is number 2? What is number 2? Eiffel Tower. Excellent. Next slide. This is the CN Tower. It is in Toronto. It is like the Seoul Tower. Boring. Next. Which one do you think is Canadian? Which one do you think? Perfect. You're all very smart. Yes, number 2 is Canadian. Where is the kangaroo from? He is very delicious. I had kangaroo pizza in Australia. Really delicious. But yes, walruses. Not delicious. Very oily, very fat. You don't want to eat a walrus. We have these near the Arctic Circle. Next, please. Which one is... Don't look at the flag. Which one is Canadian? What's number 1? White House, right. Who lives there? Obama. The President of the United States. Obama is only temporary. The President. Right, so number 2, I already told you that's... What is number 2? What is number 2? The Parliament, yes, it is the Parliament of Canada. Excellent. Which... I didn't tell you this. You have to guess this one. Which one is Canadian? Hands 2. Only 2 hands. 2. Hands number 1. Number 1, you are correct. Basketball is a Canadian sport. It was made by a Canadian person. The Canadian teacher went to America, but he was Canadian. He went to Massachusetts. He had a very, very bad class. Very bad class. In university, or high school. Bad class in high school. In winter, they didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to fight. So he thought, how can I control them? He made basketball. That's why in basketball, if you touch someone, foul. Your ball is gone. That's how the teacher controlled them. It's pretty smart. As you can see, this is money. American money. Very, very boring. But it smells good. Don't ask me why. I have smelled it. American money smells good. Canadian money. You can see there is lots and lots and lots of color. Also, you can see we still have the Queen here. The Queen is still on our money. Even though we're not part of England, we still respect the Queen. Fun fact. Not very fun. A little boring. Even today, we cannot make a law No laws in Canada without the Queen. The Queen has to sign every law, even today. But she's too busy. She appoints someone. Really, Canada chooses who she appoints, and they sign for the Queen. But her name is still important to us. So Canadian money, like I told you, comes in many, many colors. Very fun to look at. The simplest, easiest way to think about it is 1,000 won is $1. 5,000 won is 5 Canadian dollars. That's the easy way to think. It's not exact, but it's easy. We also have coins for money. That's $2. In America, they only have bills for dollars. We have coins. We call this a toonie. You watch cartoons? Looney Tunes? For some reason, we call this a toonie. Like Looney Tunes. Don't ask me why. So that's a toonie. That's $2. Next, please. And do you remember the bird? What was the bird named? Loon. Excellent. So we call this a loonie. $1 is a loonie. Looney Toonie. Why, I don't know, but yes. Next, please. That's 1 cent. That's maybe 10 won? I think 10 won. Very small. Useless. Next, please. I'm going to tell you a little bit about students in Canada. So school usually is from 8:30 in the morning till 3 o'clock. In elementary school, you guys get out pretty early. Some of you leave at 2 o'clock. Some of you left at 1:30. But in Canada, usually till 3. We don't go to academies. You probably go to Hagwons. I'm very, very sorry. I went home, I played video games. I had lots of fun. Sorry. Next one, please. Do you think we go to school on Saturday? Do you think we go to school on Saturday? Yes or no? Hand yes. Hand no. You're right. We don't. Good. No. Saturday, Sunday is our holiday. Do you think we wear uniforms? Do we have school uniforms in middle school and high school? No. Next slide. That's not correct. That's only half correct. In Canada, we have 2 kinds of school. We have Catholic school, Catholic Christians, and we have public school. Catholic school originally was for the French students. We made it for them. It's their right. In Catholic school, you do wear uniforms. Only in public school, no uniforms. Please. Our school lunches, very, very delicious, no nutrition. Very, very unhealthy. Your lunches are fantastic. When I started eating Korean lunches, I felt healthier. You can see this. All this is pasta, bread. If you're lucky, your banana will look like that. My banana was never fresh. Do you have a question? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. That salad was not fresh. Again, you can see the hot dog. It's fried, peas, potatoes. Those are chicken nuggets, popcorn chicken. Fun fact, in America, 1980s, president was Ronald Reagan. He said ketchup was a vegetable. Yeah, you can laugh, it's terrible. But anyway, continue, please. Over here, you will get government lunches, at least in elementary school. I'm not sure about middle school, I'm not sure about high school. But in elementary school, we have to pay for our own lunch, or we have to bring our lunch. Most students bring their lunch. Usually it's a sandwich. If you're lucky, there's vegetables in there. My mother gave me no vegetables. Usually juice and cookies. Canadian slang, very fast. Next. I'm going to teach you how to talk like a Canadian. Canuck. Kuga, Canuck. Canuck is a person from Canada. That's what we call ourselves, Canuck. That's a mixing of English and First Nation language, Indian language. A took. That's like the snow hat. I don't know why we call it a took, but that is a took. Next, please. Eh. What's up, eh? I don't know why, but that's what we say at the end of almost every sentence. I grew up in America. My elementary school's from America, my middle school's from America, so I don't talk like this, but some Canadians do, and I never understand them. Next, please. Just give her. I don't understand this one either. That just means try harder, like fighting, almost like fighting. Buddy hug, buddy hug. That's what some people, again, I never use this. Some people call that a sweatshirt with a hood. It's warm like a bunny's hug. An anglophone. This word comes from, of course, the French-speaking part of Canada. An anglophone is an English speaker. Anglais is English in French, so anglophone, person who speaks English. And francophone. What do you think a francophone is? Yes, you can look at the slide. A French speaker. Excellent. Good. I already told you a loonie is $1. Toonie is $2. Rhymes with loonie. And we'll just do a very fast quiz game. How much time do I have? 2 minutes. Okay. Which of these animals is found in Canada? Which animal? Cougar, just loud, out there. Polar bear, yes. Perfect. Next. There are 2 answers for this. What are the 2 national sports of Canada? Hockey and what? Hockey's one? Hand basketball. Hand basketball. Hand lacrosse. Lacrosse, you are correct. Excellent. Lacrosse and hockey are our national sports. What is the capital of Canada? Ottawa, yes. Ottawa. Which of these foods is Canadian? 2 of them. Maple syrup and? Poutine, excellent. Your memory is very good. Poutine and maple syrup. Does anyone remember how many people are in Canada? 35 million, correct. Very good memory. I would not remember that. I already forgot. So which animal is Canadian from these? Beaver, one more. Beaver and? Horse, correct. Excellent. How many seasons does Canada have? Yes, we do have 4 seasons. Perfect. Do Canadian high school students go to school on Saturday? False. Perfect. Who is the leader of Canada? President. Yes, excellent. Perfect. Prime Minister. Good job. What is Canada's national anthem? Yes, it is O Canada. That is our national anthem. And let's do one more. Last one. What city am I from? I said it very fast. Who said Toronto? Who said that? Very good memory. Excellent memory. Yes, I am from Toronto. I think that's all the time we have. You're going to break off into discussion groups now. Take a 10-minute break, then you'll come back here and we will talk about what you will do. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.
1, 2, 3, 4조는요 무대 위에 그냥 자유롭게 앉아서 해주시면 되고요. 5, 6조는
What? So first, we'll talk about Canadian history. Second, population. And lastly, we talked about flag. So we have some question mark in here. Why does red represent? For me, I was really interested by colors That's pretty impressive point because Canadian use English. Maybe sometimes Quebec or there use French. Here's my question. Do you remember when Canada national flag invented? Did you go? 1965, yeah. I wonder, before 1965, because in Canada, started 1867. So before 1965, is there Canada flag? 궁금하잖아. 그치? 네, 그 전에는 그냥 아니 그냥 그때 나랑 여기는 그냥 조용히 쓰기만 지금 쓰고 있는 거예요.
그런 거지. 나야.
아 맞아 나야.
핸드폰으로 찾아. 아, 그게 딱히 중요한 건 아닐 텐데. 근데 그거
그냥 그려요. 그냥 다섯 개.
저는 쓰면 안 되겠다.
스포츠.
거기다 써요 그냥. 생각나는 거 있으면 다 쓰면 돼.
다른 거 써.
가로운 거 새로운 거? 새로 맞아.
I don't like to talk much. Present there. Canada agents. Agents? Have you have no questions?
은양쌤. 네? Who's the person? Separately. What's your name? Like we are having 자기소개 time. Before we start 박서연. How old are you? 16, 15. She is Duna. So, what's your name? How old are you? What's your name? How old are you? Same with him. 유현지, how old are you? So, we have two Jumi and I'm the oldest. So, Now I will give you some topics. So I want you to free talk about this one. So first, they said they are arguing with territory problem, right? With Russia. So we are having territory problem with Japan or China now, right? So I want to hear about how do you guys think about this problem? So they said they will. They said they have not that good emotions with against toward Russian. So, do you guys have nothing to say about this one?
Always said it was because of the oil that was underneath the Arctic Circle. But
Yeah, it was like resource war. 자원 전쟁. Be like more serious than us or not?
you want to ask him?
They are having arguments with because they have yes. We are like really deep.
We pretty well
But we just
know well about difference between British accent and American accent, right? Like British accent is very water, daughter, like this. American accent
more serious than
water. 흔히 버터 발음이라고 하는. I don't know well about Canadian accent. Is there any difference?
She's saying that both are
Prime Minister. It's very beautiful.
argument between either country will be more serious. Right.
Canadian students look older than Korean students. Do you think? Really? 진짜구나.
됐지. 질문 다 정했지.
네, 영장만 하면 되니까.
우리도 이것도 정리한 거 같아.
이동수다. 방금 뺀지. 괜찮아.
몰라지.
우리 다 한국말 쓰면 안 되나?
잘 봤어.
참 실수가
Okay, so who's a presenter from group 1? 2. So one question each.
Yuyanji, and we mainly discuss about Canadian history, population density, and Canadian flag and Korean town. And we have 2 questions. About in Koreatown, you said there are about 100,000 Korean people living.
Not in Koreatown, in Canada, total.
Totally. We just wondered how much they teach Korean in Canada.
Outside of Koreatown, you're really not going to see too much, but interesting fact, Korean dramas and K-pop is very popular nowadays. Some of my friends are watching K-dramas right now in Toronto. So the culture is spreading, but like you said, the language, it's not spreading.
Yeah, and in Canadian history, we looked at the flag, and you said that the whites from England and reds from no. Yeah, but England.
Royalty, I think. No, purple's the color of royalty. That's a good question. They want to be different is my guess. I'm only guessing this from what little I know. If they used blue on it to mix all three, what's really the difference? They want it to be Canadian. This was 1965. Canada was a fresh country. They want it to be different. So if you put blue on there, like you said, it's going to be too similar.
The lunch in school, there was, next to chicken nuggets, there was rice. So
I think it was mashed potatoes, I guess, but we do eat rice.
Do they,
we do eat rice, but not with every meal. Like in Korea, you have to have your rice, you have to have your soup. We don't eat it with every meal, but we do eat rice. One of our favorite dishes, which we learned from First Nations or Indians, Native Americans, is called wild rice. It's kind of like you cook it in a little bit of sauce and spices with rice. It's good. We have lots of rice. That's it. Thank you.
5 questions, and we will present 1 question each people.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Question 1. Before 1965, was there a national flag?
There was no national flag. We would just use the British flag. We had ideas for flags. Technically, we became a country in 1945 after World War II. But since 1865, like I showed you, Canada Day, the first one was 1865, we were working like a country, we just weren't officially a country. But our flag, like you said, is 1965. Before that, no, British flag.
Who is $20 in May?
I thought it was the Queen, no? $20 bill was the Queen? Right? I think so. Not a man, it's a woman. She's the Queen. She signs our laws.
Is Canada well known for producing a lot of oil?
Yes and no. We have lots of oil in Alberta. One of the hot issues right now is we're polluting a lot. We have something called tar sands. We're trying to get more oil out of the ground, but it's going to pollute a lot. We want to send our oil from Alberta down into America, down into Mexico. So we do have a lot, but President Obama, he's saying we're polluting too much and he's not letting us make the oil line. We do have a lot of oil.
I wonder how British accent, American accent, and Canadian accent are different.
British accent, number one, when I try to teach you French, you can tell my language is very bad. I can't show you the accents. Canadian accent is very similar to an American one. Some people say we talk slower than Americans. I talk very fast, I'm an exception. But most Canadians I hear talk slower. I can't tell. The British accent, I'm sure. Hugh Grant, television movies, you must have heard Hugh Grant. I hope you heard Hugh Grant, he's a good actor. Tom Cruise is the best way to sound American, I guess. That's the best way.
Discrimination between different races.
Discrimination between different races. That's a very complicated issue. I cannot give you an easy answer, but for the most part, there's no discrimination. I'm sure you hear in America, for example, these days a lot of the police people are shooting unarmed black people like that. We have some problems like that in Canada, but for the most part, there is no discrimination. For the most part. It's a difficult issue to talk about, sorry. You're welcome.
Is it upside down?
Hello.
Thank you for saying hello.
We have 4 questions. First is, what is the most popular job in Canada?
Most popular what?
Job.
Job. Just like I think any country, lawyer, doctor, investment banker. Probably the most popular, but of course we have different sectors.
Which food Canada usually eat for meal, rice or bread?
Mix. I would say maybe 3 or 4 days we'll eat bread, maybe 2-3 days we'll eat rice. Keep changing. Mix.
There is a school vacation homework in Canada.
Unless you're going to private school, though. I played video games all vacation long.
Last question is, what kind of subjects students in Canada learn?
Same subjects as anywhere. History, math, English, of course. But in Canada, the special subject is French. We have to learn French. If you want, your parents can excuse you. Your parents can say, I don't want my son to learn French. But no one does that, really. French is the only special subject. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the great presentation about Canada. It was very interesting.
Thank you.
During the lecture, you said a lot about something related to maple. What does the maple leaf in the flag mean?
It's the symbol of Canada because we have lots and lots of maple trees all throughout, especially the southern part. When we were making the flag, we wanted to be special, like I said. It was a very important issue for us. We don't want to have stars, that's American. We don't want to have the Union Jack, that's British. The maple was the most original Canadian symbol.
During the speech, you said that Canadian students don't go to academy. Then do they study by themselves?
Usually, yes. They give us more homework. In Korea, you don't have so much homework from school. My understanding, maybe you do. But we have lots of homework at home. Most students don't go to academy, but actually, when Koreans come to Canada, they go to Kumon, which is it's like an academy. So some students do go to academies, just not most.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Thank you.
We have 3 questions, and the first is, which company is most profitable in Canada?
The most what?
Profitable and popular.
Popular, okay. That is an excellent question. If I had to choose one, it would probably be an American company. Most of our jobs have been taken by American companies. I don't really have a good Canadian answer for you. In Korea, you're very nationalistic. You have Samsung, you have Hyundai. You all want Samsung, you want Hyundai. Canadians don't care. I'll buy American usually. Sorry, bad answer.
The second one is, since we have G-Dragon in Korea, who are the popular celebrities in Canada?
My favorite, not really, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, lots of actually comedy actors. These movies are a little old, maybe you know the names, maybe you don't. Jim Carrey, who was Austin Powers? Mike Myers. Those are 2 famous, very funny actors. They're Canadian. Older singer from 1980s. I'm very old, so I like old music. Bryan Adams, great. But Justin Bieber is probably the newest one.
And the last one is, as you said, flag consists of 2 colors, red and white. And isn't that mean they still have little pressure of the French?
Not a little pressure, we have a lot of pressure from the French. France wants nothing with Canada. We're friends, no problem. But I told you about Quebec. Quebec actually wants to become its own country. They want to separate. To make them happy, that's why we still speak French. We have them on the flag. We're trying to make them happy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We summarize what you have told us. I'm not sure you all can see this. We have 4 questions to ask you.
I have two questions. And first, "Oh Canada" is Canada's national anthem, and I heard Quebec speaks French. Is "Oh Canada" have any French version?
The lyrics are entirely translated into French. When we made it, it's supposed to sound good in French and good in English. I don't speak French, so I can't sing it for you. I'm sorry.
And second question is, Yukon, are there still more people who are searching for gold?
There's always a crazy person. No one's smart. No one's smart.
What is popular transportation in Canada?
You have to drive. Just like America, you have to drive. You're lucky in Korea. You have a great subway in Seoul, in Busan, in Daegu, in Gwangju. You have great buses in Cheongju. If I take the bus, it takes me a very, very long time. Terrible.
Is there a famous hockey team in Canada?
Of course. Famous, yes. Good, no. Toronto is Maple Leafs. I think Quebec, Montreal, they have the Canadiens. They say it with an accent. I can't say it. Those are the two famous ones. Yes, I think. They're not famous. They're not famous. Thank you. You're welcome.
I heard that Canada has two languages and like two cultures. So, which are those which are from UK and France? So, isn't there any trouble?
Like I told you, Quebec wants to make its own country. They want to separate. Actually, very recently, 1990, I want to say 91, 92, or 93, one of those dates, there was actually a vote. If Quebec won, they would be a separate country. But they lost, so they have to stay with us. In the 1970s, there were lots of Quebec terrorists. They wanted to make a new country, so they would do bombings. So it was a serious issue. Now it's not a serious issue. They talk, but no violence.
What I think, I want to ask some questions, but it's a little bit similar with her.
Go ahead.
Okay. In Korea, there is invisible troubles because of differences between Gyeongsang province and Jeolla provinces. Then there is any troubles in Canada?
Actually, I'm interested in this because I don't know about this. Why is there trouble? Why?
Because of the from long ago there was a mountains between Gyeongsang province and Jeolla province. They separated and they have own culture and different language styles, so they become a little bit different.
So they want the land?
Yeah.
Like I already said, France and not France, Quebec and British Canada has a problem. Similar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are we done? I think are we done?
Military is very, very awesome. Our number is very small. Our technology is very bad, but our training is very good. World War I, the British run. The Australians run. We never run. The Germans are afraid of us the most. World War II, D-Day. I'm a history major, so I love this. This is me very, very happy. So at D-Day, we took Juno Beach, which was one of the most difficult beaches. Very recently, 2001, Afghanistan, we took Kandahar province, the most difficult province. We have war games. United States and Canada, we practice together. We win a lot. So, but our technology is very bad. Our guns are terrible. Our tanks are terrible. Our helicopters crash. But our training is very good. Thank you. Anything else?
I think this is all we have today.
Thank you. You're actually my last class. I'm going back to Canada, so thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Aquil, Ammar Aquil. Please give Aquil or Aquil? Aquil. Okay, so please give a big applause to him.
오늘 찍은 행사 사진들은 사단법인 충북국제협력단 홈페이지에 가면 여러분들 사진들 있을 테니까 사진들 뭐 필요하시거나 기록에 남기고 싶은 분들은 거기서 찾아보시길 바랍니다. 그리고 아까 말씀드렸듯이 자원봉사 포털 사이트 가입 안 된 학생들은 가입한 다음에 아까 제가 알려준 제 전화번호로 그 문자를 보내주시면 자원봉사 시간을 받을 수 있을 것 같습니다. 다음 강연은